Okay, hello and welcome. My name's Shraddha Gita and welcome to the London Buddhist Centre for this YouTube class. And today's class is called A Firm Foundation. So we've been doing lots of classes over the last 6 months or so actually. And yeah, this week going back to a firm foundation. And also this week is the last week we'll be doing 3 YouTube classes. So from next week, it's going to be just on a Thursday. So do look out for that. We're going to be doing more live classes on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, which you can book through our website. So do look out for those. And I'm here today with Ruth, which is lovely. She's doing the tech. And we've also got Anita joining us, which is really nice. So there's 3 of us here practicing together, which is always really nice. Do say hi in the chat box. Say if you're tuning in from just round the corner in Bethnal Green. I know some of you tune in from just over the road, or you might be tuning in from further afield. It's really nice to have a sense of that when we're all arriving. And do grab your mats, blocks, cushions, anything you might need.
Michelle and John and Linda said hello.
Oh, hi there, Michelle, John and Linda. Really nice to see you. So Michelle and John definitely come to a lot of our live classes. Linda maybe does, I don't know. But yeah, Michelle and John, nice to see you. Linda, really nice to see you as well.
Adrienne from Dublin.
Adrienne from Dublin, hi there, really nice to see you. Nice to imagine you in Dublin's fair city. Beautiful place.
Carmen says hello.
Hi there, Carmen, nice to see you. How many people do we have joining us so far?
We've got 11 so far.
11 people, great. Well, you've still got another minute or so to sneak in the door. So if you're contemplating joining this class, then yeah, you can still join. Do get your mat, blocks and anything you need. And if you have been working at home this morning, it's a really nice opportunity to take a little bit of a break, actually move the body a bit after sitting, move the back. And also it can just set you up well for this afternoon's work. That's if you're working at home or if you're at your desk in actual work. So yeah, do take this opportunity if you're able to do a bit of yoga.
We've got Jane from Cambridge and Kyla from Golders Green.
Hi there, Jane from Cambridge and Kyla from Golders Green. Lovely. Okay, so again, a really warm welcome from me. My name's Shraddha Gita, and I'm here with Ruth and Anita, which is lovely. And we're in the breathing space shrine room that the LBC has. So we're down in the basement. Those of you that come to or have been to any of our live classes will be quite familiar with this space. But when we first started doing the YouTubes, we were doing them upstairs in the main shrine room. So this one's a bit different, but we have got this very beautiful triptych painting behind me. So yeah, it's really lovely, the gold and the green, and yeah, just there's a lot of light in this painting. So it's really nice to have it as a backdrop to our practice today. And yeah, we've got Bodhi leaves on this lovely painting, beautiful heart-shaped leaves. And today's class is called A Firm Foundation. So We could start with just a little bit of centering. Well, let's start with a little bit of centering. So you can sit on cushions or blocks. And maybe, with these leaves here, the Buddha's sitting under the Bodhi tree, we might want to just imagine that we are sitting beneath a tree. And the trees at the moment are particularly beautiful, aren't they? With gold and green and red and brown leaves. And maybe there's a tree near you that you've been really aware of or just watching start to turn during this autumnal season. And trees usually have a really, really firm foundation, don't they? So they have their roots going down into the ground. So let's just take a few minutes just to really ground ourselves and feel our own firm foundation. So we can feel the ground beneath us, supporting us. And as best we can, letting the body relax into that support, the support of the cushions or the blocks. You can feel the contact that your feet have with the ground, your knees, your sitting bones. And this firm foundation goes way, way down. So we're not just imagining what we're actually in contact with, but the fact that that itself is supported by a lot of depth, a depth of earth, a depth of planet even. So just try and tune into that firm foundation beneath us. And as you do that, also start to just tune in with how you are this morning, on this Monday. And however you are, just trying to meet yourself with kindness and sensitivity, with friendliness and curiosity. Trying to be interested in what you find. Because all of our internal weathers are interesting, just like the external weather. Whether it's grey or blue, can be really beautiful if we really look at it. And then connect with your breath. Maybe taking a few deeper breaths. And you could even sigh out through the mouth if you're at home. And here we're just going to sigh with our mouth closed, but slightly extending our exhale. So it's as if our breath becomes a kind of oceanic breath, an inner sigh, a bit like the sighing of the ocean. So just a couple more breaths like that. And then slowly just starting to, excuse me, open your eyes and just taking in the space that you're in, where you're practicing. We're going to start with a little stretch, which is actually for our feet, because our feet are the real foundation in our yoga practice. And this little stretch, it's sometimes quite intense because it actually activates all the nerves in the feet, and a lot of our nerves end or begin in the feet. So there's a couple of choices with this. I'm just going to show you a few possibilities. So the first one is to just tuck our toes. So I'm coming up onto my toes, stretching the sole of my feet, and then I can just have my hands resting on my thighs. And after a few seconds, you will really start to feel some sensations in your feet. If that feels too much, you could just bring your hands down to the ground, and that will take that intensity out of the stretch. But if you're okay, you can keep the hands on the thighs, and we'll just be here for a minute or so, trying to breathe with any sensations that we experience. And it may get a bit uncomfortable. You might want to move a lot. Just try and stay still if you can. This will have an effect on the whole of our body, this stretch. So it's a really good stretch to do. So we've just got a few more seconds. So just breathing with this. And again, if you need to bring the hands onto the ground at any time, just do that. 10 more seconds. Great. And then bring the hands forward. Just lift your toes off the ground. Then you could really, really gently just tap the toes. That can be really nice after this pose. And hopefully you can feel something in your legs as well. And then just to stretch the legs out after that, we're going to bring the hips back and buttocks back, and then lift the hips and come into a downward dog. So just walk out your legs a little bit. Walk out, pedal the feet, activate the hands, spreading the fingers. And make this first downward dog a really soft, kneed downward dog. You can really bounce a little bit if you want to. You could come up onto your toes, straighten the legs, and then you could bend the knees and bring the heels back. Just bouncing in this pose, arriving here in your body with this little bounce. And then let the knees come down, bring the feet, the tops of the feet down, and we'll just do a few cat-cows to begin with. So on the inhale, lift your chest and sitting bones, exhale, rounding. So doing a few of these in your own rhythm, letting the breath lead the way. Just a couple more of these. And then back to neutral. And then walk the hands forward a little bit, and we'll just do a few hip circles. So bring the hips forward, and then we're going to draw some circles, sort of figure of 8 stroke circles around. Bringing a bit of mobility into the hips, getting the synovial fluid moving to lubricate the hips. So going in both directions here. And then you can walk the hands back a little bit. And we're going to do a pose that you're probably familiar with, but I'm just going to show you a little variation on it. So we often do this pose where we turn towards one side and then we kind of scoop our arm underneath. And we're going to do that 3 times. So it's going to be fluid to begin with, and then we're going to bring the shoulder and cheek down. And then the hand could come onto the sacrum. But then if you want to, we're gonna add in something. So we're gonna bring in this case, it's my left leg back and my right arm forward. So I'm coming into the twist a little bit more deeply. So this might be available to you, and it might just mean that you get a much deeper stretch. But you'd also be fine to just stay like this as well, if that's enough of a stretch. And for a lot of people, that is enough with the shoulder. Okay, so we'll do that one together. So on the inhale, we're going to lift the right arm up and turn to the right. And then let that right hand scoop underneath the left arm. And then go to the right again, twisting, turning to the right, scooping underneath. Last one. And then sliding shoulder and cheek of the right side underneath the left arm. And then either have the left hand next to the face, or you could bring it onto the sacrum, stretching the fingers of the right hand, breathing into the shoulder. Great. Well done. And then if you want to, you can walk that left hand forward a little bit. You can even come onto the fingertips and walk the left foot back. So try and keep the foot roughly in line with your hip. And then you might find with the hands and the foot, you can slightly turn a little bit more, coming into a deeper stretch. Breathing, great, softening, opening. 2 more breaths. Great, well done. And then walking the left hand back, bringing the knee back to join the other one, and then sliding that arm out. And we'll come and do another 3 cat-cows in between sides. So inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhale. Last one. Great. And then back to neutral. And then we'll do the other side. So lifting the left arm, scooting it under the right 3 times. Lovely. And then on the 3rd time, sliding it all the way along the floor. So the left shoulder comes down onto the ground. And the left cheek. You could bring the right arm onto your sacrum for a moment. Breathe here. And then you could walk that hand forward and the right leg back. So that you deepen into this stretch. You're turning a little bit more. But if that feels too much or you feel unbalanced, then just come back to the right knee being on the ground as well as the left. And the arm somewhere where you feel stable. 2 more breaths. Great. And then you can walk that right hand back towards the head, Bring the right knee in towards the other knee. Slide your hand out. And let's do 3 more cat-cows. Lifting the chest and the sitting bones, rounding. Last one. Great. And then back to neutral. And then we're going to bring our right leg and we're going to wrap it around the left. So squeezing those legs together. And then we're not going to get our buttocks on our heels, but we're drawing them back towards the heels, keeping the hands pressed down. So it's a good stretch here for the outer hips, glutes. You could bring the arms forward a little bit as you draw back. Keep squeezing those legs together. Knees together. Breathe. Great. And then coming back, unraveling the legs and swapping sides. So this time left comes over right. I'll try not to get my microphone all tangled in my legs. Great. And then squeeze those legs again. And then draw the buttocks back. Try to keep your hips fairly level. So it's as if you've got this spirit level on the back of your hips, back of your pelvis, keeping it roughly level. Drawing back, squeezing the legs together. Great. 2 more breaths. Wonderful. And then release. And then knees come hip width apart again. And we'll do a little bit of work for our glutes. So we're doing a lot of sitting, probably all of us at the moment, at work, at home. We're not able to probably be out and about as much as we might like to. So this is a good thing for the glutes. So we're going to lift the left leg up first, bending the knee, sole of the foot comes up. And we're just going to pump that thigh up and down a few times. And you'll start to really feel that in your left glutes. Left buttock really working. So keep going with that pumping action. And in a way, you don't need to go like too high. It's more just to really start to feel that. And you probably start to feel it in the right side as well. 3 more. Great, you're doing really well. And release. And then the other side. Knee comes into a bent position, thigh. And leg starts to pump a little bit up and down. Feeling into that buttock, feeling those muscles switching on. Great. 2 more. Wonderful. And then knees back to hip width, tuck the toes, and let's come back into a downward dog. And hopefully now we can really feel our body, the energy in the body, the aliveness in the body through the legs and the upper back, the torso, from the twist, the shoulders. So really see if you can press or really press down the base of the index finger down and see if you can really activate your arms here. And then see if you can turn or roll the upper shoulders out from the inside. So really think about rolling them out and let your head and your gaze be towards the belly. So the head is poised on the spine. Three long breaths here, that sighing oceanic breath. And then let's bring the knees down, lower the chest, come forward, sort of scoop through and come into a cobra. So lifting the chest and then wave down. Let's do 2 more. Lifting the chest, let the shoulders roll back. Great. Wave down, inhale, coming all the way up. So hold it here, pressing the feet into the ground, legs, pubic bone, and then release. Then hands next to the chest, come back through all fours and back into downward dog. And then let's walk our feet forward to between our hands, fold from the hips, take hold of our elbows, and just let the back release for a moment. Drawing up energy from the earth. And if it helps, you can really breathe up through the feet, all the way up the legs, over the torso, down through the arms and through the neck, so that the breath comes out through the fingertips and the crown of the head, and then breathing in again all the way up through the soles of the feet. So you're really breathing the shape. And you're creating this firm foundation from the feet up. And then from that firm foundation, the upper body can really release like a waterfall. One more breath. And then slowly uncurling that shape so the arms can be heavy. And you can slowly unroll the spine, keeping a bend in the knees. Rolling all the way up. And just standing tall for a moment. In Tadasana, palms facing forward. Feeling the ground beneath you, the sky above. And then either keeping the feet about hip width apart, or if you prefer, you can bring the toes together and have a little space between the heels. We're going to come into chair pose. So this is another pose that really we need that ground, that connection with the ground to then rise up from there. So we're going to bend the knees, draw the buttocks back and down, and then sweep the arms up. Just coming into a chair pose here, lifting the arms, buttocks move back and down, great. And then bring the palms together at the heart and see if you can drop down a little bit more, back and down, great. And then on the inhale, circle the arms up and come all the way up. And then come back down again, palms together. Lift the arms. A bit harder when we've got to lift the arms in this. Great. And then palms together again and circle the arms all the way up. Fantastic. And then we're going to do that one more time and bring in a twist on each side. So palms together. And we're going to bring the right elbow across the left knee. And see if we can turn towards the left. Coming into the twist. So strong in the feet and the legs. It's a strong pose for our legs. They're really working. Don't forget to breathe, soften. And then see if you can sweep the arms forward and up again. And then see if you can bring the palms together and let the left elbow this time come across the right knee, turning towards the right. Two breaths. Great. And then sweep the arms up last time. 2 more breaths. You can really feel the thigh muscles working, and then hands, palms at the heart, and then circle the arms all the way up. And hands to the heart. Well done. And then let's lift the arms up on the inhale, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step back to a plank, and then come forward, lower ourselves down into chaturanga, and either do cobra or up dog, and then back into downward dog. So just stretching out the legs after that work. And doing that again, so coming forward into a plank, perhaps holding that for a moment or two, or you can do knees, chest and chin, and then keeping the elbows close in. Doing chaturanga and up dog, and then down dog. And then last one, coming forward into a plank, or knees, chest, chin, lowering ourselves down, up dog, and down dog. And then again, walking the feet forward towards our hands. This time lengthening forward on the inhale as if we're shining our heart forward, and then fold in on the exhale towards the body, and then using the strength of the legs and the feet, inhaling, circling the arms and coming all the way up. Great. And then we'll do a few standing poses. So let's step back into Warrior 2, to step back with the left foot, making sure we've got enough space for our right knee, so maybe edge our toes forward. Bring the hands to the heart, and then radiate the arms out from there, looking along that middle finger, the front hand, drawing up energy from the firm foundation of our feet. It's almost like we've got this little rebound effect from the feet pressing into the earth. It's like we get this little bounce in a way. 2 more breaths. And then coming into side angle pose. So we're going to turn the right arm, rest the elbow lightly on the thigh, or you can drop the hand down to the floor if that's in your practice. But if you do that, make sure that the chest can still turn upwards and you're not collapsing there. Wonderful. Breathing here, stretching those fingertips, arm alongside the ear. 2 more breaths. Great, and then slowly bringing that top arm back, coming back into Warrior 2. And then we're going to heel toe the back, foot in a little bit, straighten the front knee and come into Trikonasana. And again, we're turning the chest, turning upwards. 2 breaths here. Wonderful. And then bringing that left arm back. And then let's turn our right foot in this time. Left foot comes out. And again, widen our stance if we need to. You can bring the hands again to the heart. Radiate the arms out. Look along that left middle finger. Taking 2 breaths here. And then turning the left palm, elbow resting on the thigh. Sweep the right arm up and alongside the head. Outer edge of the right foot, really actively engage with the earth, turning the chest if you can. Great, relax the face. One more breath. Great, and then lift that top arm, come back just for a moment into warrior two, and then heel toe the back foot in a little bit. Straighten the front leg and come into Trikonasana. 2 breaths here. Wonderful. And then let's bend that front knee. Bring the hands down to either side of the left foot and then sort of pivot on our right foot so that we come onto the ball of the foot and then step the left one back to join it so that we're back into a downward dog. Ease out the legs. And let's come through again, plank or knees, chest, chin, lowering ourselves down, coming into up dog or cobra, and then down dog. So let's do 3 of these again. So coming back into plank, lowering ourselves down. Last one. If you do need to take a pause at any point, then just rest back in child's pose. Two more breaths here. And then we're going to rest back in child's pose. So let the knees come to the ground, bring the toes together, hips, buttocks move back towards the heels, but keep some activation in the arms. So lifting the arms off the ground, fingers pressing into the ground. The elbows are lifted off the ground. Great. And then from there, let's walk the hands over to the left to get a really nice stretch for our right side, still keeping the arms lifted. And then walk the hands back to center. And then walking them over to the right side, breathing along that left side. And then hands coming back to center for a few breaths. Keep letting the chest move towards the ground. Buttocks move towards the heels. And then slowly walking the hands all the way back to the body. We'll come into a seated twist now. So if you need a bit of support, do take one of your blocks. And you've got a few choices here. So you could either have your right leg straight and the left leg, the heel coming towards the left buttock. Or another alternative is to bring that right leg underneath so that the foot ends up near the left buttock and left foot alongside the right knee. So either of those is fine. So just choosing one of those to do, either a straight bottom leg or curled underneath. And then first of all, just sitting up nice and tall. And at the same time, feeling that foundation, that dropping of the weight and the energy down through the sitting bones. And then either bringing the elbows sort of over and across the knee, or you could just catch the knee in the crook of the elbow, whichever feels most comfortable. And then bring the left hand behind you, maybe a sort of teepee-like finger shape. And then lengthen the back first of all on the inhale. And then as you exhale, see if you can just turn a little bit more. And just working with that on the in and the exhale. On the inhale, finding a bit more length. And on the exhale, a bit more turn. And the length in the body really helps us get the benefit of the twist, because it creates a bit more space in the whole intercostal area. One more breath. Wonderful. And then letting the arms come back, straightening out the legs for a moment, just feeling difference on the sides. And then we'll do the other side. So this time either leaving the left leg straight and the right heel coming towards the right buttock, or you can bring that left leg around and have the right foot next to the left knee. If you need your support, you want to try and keep both buttocks kind of roughly level. Again, sitting up nice and tall. And then bringing the right hand behind us and left elbow either onto the crook of the knee or across the knee. First of all, finding that length. And then on the exhale, a little bit more turn. And just working with that lengthening on the inhale and exhale. Finding a bit more rotation, but trying to find that rotation from the inside. So we're not forcing it to happen with our arm. It's a bit more like this spiral staircase that we just sort of discover that sort of moves as we breathe. And then slowly releasing, bringing the feet onto the ground, taking our block away, and we're going to start to ease back now into Shavasana, but we're going to roll down really, really slowly. So it's as if we're zipping up our abdominals. So you might want if you've got a cardigan or socks, you might want them nearby. But we're going to roll down with control. So just imagine that you're lightly zipping up through the abdominals, pressing the feet into the ground, and then the arms are lifted. And then you're just going to roll down really slowly. And there'll come a point where the back will just want to completely roll fast. And that's where you've got to keep that control. Just really, it's like you're putting on a little brake with the abdominals, and then you're slowly releasing all the way down. And if you want to, for a moment or two, you could let the knees rest together, or you can straight away just stretch the legs out for Shavasana. And letting the body come to rest. And feeling all the contact that you have with the earth through your back, the backs of your legs, buttocks, heels, perhaps the backs of the arms, back of the head. And then just follow the breath, letting that anchor you in awareness. And if you wander off, just keep coming back to your body as the foundation and the breath anchoring the body. And letting the sound of the bell just start to awaken the body again with some small movements, with fingers and toes, which can then permeate into the hands and the feet, the arms and the legs, so that you can stretch your whole body. And you could roll over onto your side for a moment, just resting there. And then we'll come up to a seated position and we'll just sit for a moment and I'll read a poem called Sun Yoga. So much has gone now, there is only the sun. The sun up there, white, golden, bare, maybe not free, but full of its own necessity. It's a world morning, and I sit here, rock-like breathing, breathing towards the sun. It's a world morning, and I sit here, rock-like breathing, breathing towards the sun. And then your own time, slowly opening your eyes. So that poem was by a poet called Kenneth White, a Scottish poet, in case you're interested. Thanks so much for joining us today. Really, really good to see you all and to practice with you. And I hope that the practice has really grounded you more than you were feeling before. You might have already been feeling grounded. Maybe it's grounded you even a bit more rock-like or tree-like or some other like. Yeah, and thanks so much to Ruth for the tech. She's been doing the tech now for quite a while on these classes, and we really, really appreciate that. And yeah, and thanks to Anita as well for joining us here. And thanks to all of you. And as always, just wanting to say that here at the centre we have a sort of culture of generosity, a dana economy, if you like. So dana means generosity, which means that we're offering these classes, we're giving them, and if you'd like to give in return, you're very welcome to. Yeah, that just keeps this flow of energy. So Ruth's going to put a link that you can click onto, if you've got the means to, of course. And we're really aware that for a lot of people at the moment, yeah, it's not easy to do that. And that's fine. You're very welcome just to receive the class as well. But if you are able to, and you've got means to, then do give. And yeah, really look forward to seeing you again soon.